Greetings to you, great mind. My name is Victor Otasowie, the founder of Future Setters Institute. We are currently working on Future Setters Institute school project. Now, the focus of this project is to help every young person out there to get quality education. Now, we have observed that a particular area in Nigeria, which is Ekiwa, is currently in need of a very great school which people can learn and build themselves in science, and they can also build themselves on computer literacy skills. Not just on that, we can also help them to be mentored, help them to become groomed in the aspect of leadership and personal development. How do we go about that? That is why we have launched this project. We are working on it, and we believe that with your support, with your ideas, and with your financial commitment, we can make this project a reality.
Attached to this video is our GoFundMe campaign link to support us. Thank you so much.
Multiply root 75 by root 3. Are you hearing you can hear what I'm saying, right? So
The idea of special angles comes into play. So what we are going to do now, as we have this triangle now, we're going to break this triangle into so many parts. Now we start from this x. Now we don't know what x is.
you in the long run to achieve a lot of success. So this is not part of our class, but I still gave you these hints. So try to download that VidCompat app on your phone.
All right, so you can start.
Hello. I'm at this out.
Today we're going to be starting an online math class with my students. So I have a student I'm going to be training mathematics.
Video, and you start posting that YouTube video. You just get all your points from the YouTube video, and you now use that YouTube video to teach people about what you are doing. No.
Hello, great mind. Hope you are doing great today. This is Victor Otasowie, and you joined our personal growth challenge, our personal development challenge. Now, today we are going to be showing you how to design your own thumbnails. So it's not. So we also have another question which you can also check out together, which is we have 2 cos x plus 1 equal to 0.
So today I'm going to show you how to create a PowerPoint presentation.
Together we can make this project a reality. Your support will go a long way to make this project possible, and I do believe that you'll be of great help to us to make it happen.
You are greatly welcome to Future Setters Institute Youth Development Show, episode 38. Now, this episode is filled with a lot of insightful points. It's going to fill your mind with practical strategies to become accountable as a leader. You observe that a lot of leaders don't like when people require reports from them. They want to be served. They don't want to serve others. So these are some of the challenging things that we have observed. And we decided to bring up, a show where we can share our tips, we can share some ideas that organizations can put into practice to ensure that they get the best result ever. And once more, you are greatly welcome to this episode of our youth development show. And do well to stay with us because you are going to be learning a lot. And Future Setters Institute is a growth hub where young minds are groomed on leadership, personal development, and work ethics. We believe that people need to be given opportunities to thrive. We believe that every young person needs skills, that if they don't have the required skills, they will be left out. So we need to empower them with what opportunities, with finance, with skills, with every necessary thing that can help them to thrive. What is it? Is it mentorship? Mentorship. People need mentorship. So if a person is not mentored properly, he may not know the right path. So once more, you all are greatly welcome. And also feel free to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also follow us on LinkedIn during the course of our program. You can also recommend us to your friends as well too, because we do this every Sunday just to give you the best results ever. So today we're going to be discussing on why you need to be accountable as a leader, why you need to be accountable as a leader. And we have a very great man here in the person of Henry Ali ADJIRI Quarcoopome. He's from Ghana. and is going to be sharing a lot of great and insightful tips with us. And we look forward to learning from him. We look forward to improving from him, and also sharing his insight as a political scientist. Once more, you are welcome, Henry Ali Ajiri Quarcoopome. And we also love to get to know you. Uh, let's get to know you more.
Okay, thank you very much, the Future Setters Institute, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Henry Ni Ajiri Quarcoopome, and like you rightly mentioned, I am resident in Ghana. I'm a Ghanaian and resident in Ghana. I studied political science and Chinese as a combined major at the Premier University in University of Ghana. And over the period I have, from high school, been involved in many leadership roles, offering service to various organizations that I'm a member of. And today I am delighted to be here. To also share with us all some of my experiences that I've gone throughout this journey. From class prefectship to even holding higher positions, and even now in my workplace as a facilitator at the Association International School. I think that I have some when it comes to accountability, and I'm looking forward to being here. Yeah, thank you.
You are greatly welcome, Mr. Henry Ajiri Quarcoopome, and we look forward to learning great things from you today. And surely it's going to be a wonderful journey having you here with us. So we'll be going to the first question for today, which is, what is accountability as a leader? What do you think about accountability? Do you think it's really necessary for a leader to be accountable to people, or do you feel a leader just has to do his job and not give back to the people who put him there? So what do you think about that?
Accountability is, to start off, it's the core of leadership. We need to be accountable. When we look at the the origin of government, look at the origin of when people decided that let us come into the social contract, you realize that people like Thomas Hobbes, John Locke have spoken extensively on that, where about a system where everybody wanted to fight for resources and things, that nature, the state of nature, we call it the state of nature. You realize that people were just struggling for things. There were no regulations guiding anything. It was like the strongest person gets what he or she looked for. And we realized at a point in time, or men realized at a point in time, that that was not really helpful. And so for us to move from there, we decided that let us now have a system where we would put people in charge of us, people we have entrusted to what, take dominion or take responsibility on our behalf. People we have put into places, whether being it at the department, being it at the school, being it at the church, wherever, they should take charge. They should take some responsibility. They should lead us into wherever we ambition to be. And so to me, accountability is just simple. It's about we taking ownership. And if we understand that leaders came into being because they have that social contract with their populace, whether being it's a group of six, an organization, wherever they find themselves, I think that it is expedient that these leaders, or we as leaders, what we owe our people is to be accountable to them, right? So we need accountability. To me as a leader, like I said, it's just simple. We taking ownership. We should not just be interested in the results, but owning the process. So it comes with a lot of things. For me as a person, I believe that I hold 4 key tenets: one, service, humility, advocacy, and an integrity, which I believe sums up into some of these things we are talking about or we're going to be sharing today. So if we know that we are expected to be accountable, or we owe it to our people to be accountable, then we know that we need to look at the processes. We need to be transparent with these people we are talking about, so that in the end, it is not like we are doing, because we've been put in certain roles or certain positions, we want to do whatever we feel like doing, which is not really how it's supposed to be. Because as a leader, we owe it to our people to be accountable.
Clear and valid points you raised, Mr. Henry, and we started on a very great note, I must say. And moving to these particular points you raised, the first part which you said you should not do what you feel. That is one point I really, really love. You see, some persons are leaders, but it is what they want that they give. It's what they want that they want others to do. So I'll give you an instance. In Nigeria currently, there was a situation where a man who was a governor, ex-governor, and now the man now became a minister or something like that. He became a minister and now he's in charge of something. He now wants to control the soldiers. He wants to control the army, tell them what to do. And you want to tell people what to do, but you are not the commander in chief. The commander in chief is the president that will give an order to do something. But a person who is not the commander in chief wants to command people to do something. So how accountable is that? You know that you give orders when you are entrusted to do something. If someone has told you do this, that means I support you. That means it is right. But most times we prefer to do what is not right. We prefer to do things according to our instinct. We just do it. Anything that just comes in, let's do it. So one thing for sure, like you said, is we have to understand that before we make certain decisions, we have a team behind us. We have to go back to the team. There are certain decisions you can make. There are certain decisions you can make at that spot as a leader, as the president, or as something. You can make certain decisions. But at some point in time, there are still some decisions you cannot make, that you still need to go back to your team members. You are accountable to them. You are accountable to your team members. You are accountable to the organization. You are accountable to the people that entrusted you with power. So we have to go back to them and tell them, no matter how difficult it is, no matter how you want to do it yourself and own it all to yourself, also remember that there was a team, or there is a team that is always there for you. So you have to constantly reach out to them and ask them, let them know, reach out to them, know what they think, and always, praise them, appreciate them for their ideas, no matter how bad their ideas are. Let them feel valued with those great ideas they have. Allow them to feel valued and appreciated for these great ideas. And leadership is responsibility. Accountability is understanding the responsibility we are given. Most of us don't even know the responsibility we are given. We are given a role to function as something. We don't need to be constantly reminded about our roles. You are given a role, for example, I'm the public relations officer. I don't need to be told that I need to seek for information. I need to ask the president, what is the next thing that needs to be done? What is the next program? What is the next activity? That is one thing. I don't need to be told all the time. I should be constantly in touch with the leader. That is one thing. There has to be a form of synergy between the leader and the person. So one thing is understanding your responsibility, your core responsibility. Why are you supposed to be there? What am I supposed to do? As you said, responsibility, it matters a lot. So we need to stop this whole idea of struggling for power, we're struggling to be the leader, struggling to do this. While we should think about how to further better
the system? How can we make the system better? That is one thing. So this brought me to this whole concept of saying that accountability is when you believe that you are there to serve others and not to be served. When you believe that you are there to serve others, you will be financially prudent because you know that the money you are giving is not your money, it's everyone's money in an organization. So people need to see the money that goes in and out of the organization. So as at every program, there has to be a form of report given to the organization. There has to be a good, information and transfer of messages. There has to be constant. You have to be constantly in touch with people. Communication is very much important. So all this matters a lot. So we need to understand that we are not there to be served, but we are there to serve others. So if we understand that we are there to serve others, we have to know that there's a responsibility that we're giving, a mandate we're giving, and we have to stand by it and to put in our best to get the best results. Once more, thank you so much, Henry, for this great point. So we move to the next question, which says, how can you trust a leader, and what are some characteristics one should look at?
Please come again.
So you can share. How can you trust a leader, and what are some characteristics one should look at to trust a leader?
Wow, that's a very, I think that's one key thing that we do. That's trust is not a one-day thing. Trust is built over time. And so as a leader, you must understand that there's that need for you to be consistent. That's one. There's that need for you to have or uphold integrity. And there's that need for you also to have what we call humility. So you realize that earlier I said that for me as a person, there are four key tenets that I go by: service, advocacy, humility, and integrity. So if you know that you cannot keep up with, you tell your people that I'm going to do A, B, C for you, and then you get the opportunity to serve them, and you are doing C, D, E, no, or you are doing X, Y, Z instead of doing A, B, C. You have not, given the people an opportunity to trust you. You're rather giving them the opportunity to lose trust in you. And because you're not being consistent with your words, you're not being consistent with what you tell them you want to do, they gradually, your integrity becomes at stake, and then it just dwindles as the time goes on. The people you have been entrusted into to take care of, right? You get to realize that you are unable to deliver for them. They don't even trust you in the first place because you say this, you do the otherwise. You are unable to really live by your own words. So, I think that subsequently we may be talking about how we can do that. But if you see that your things, that the things that you are telling them are not realistic, then you're already setting up yourself for them not to trust you. And I don't think that is what leaders want. Except that it's a bit sad to note that in our part of the world, it looks like people rather will tell you what they want, they know that you want to hear. Then when they get the
Exactly.
opportunity, they decide to do otherwise. And that has, affected us in many ways. People feel and think that governments in our part of our world are not living up to expectation because they tell you, I'm going to do this for you. When they get into power, they try to bring up a whole lot of stories to, explain to you why they cannot do what they said they would do, which is not being consistent. I think that a trustworthy leader is one who is honest. You should be honest. You should be able to tell them, be truthful to them. I think that I'm going to be able to do this. I cannot do this. I cannot build maybe a cathedral for you, but I can build a temple we can all fellowship. I cannot construct maybe a dam for you, but I can at least, give you a water pump so that you can also get access to what water. So it really calls for leaders to, be playing with their followers, to be playing with their constituents, to be playing with the people they are being entrusted to serve. And if these people do some of these things, be honest with them, be transparent with them, like let them know, oh, we intended on doing ABC, but going into it, we are seeing that if we decide to do it, these are the consequences that may come along. So, what do you think about it? Should we still go ahead and do it? Or should we rather look at an alternative means of doing that? And I think that when you have such dialogue with your followers, they just not only feel that okay, they are just there, and then you do whatever you think for them. When even they have ideas, you don't take them and all those things. Once you do some of these things, you're transparent with them, you share with them, people, this is what I have, this is what I want us to do. I think that I'm a little stuck. I need your opinion. How best do you think if I do this, it would help you or it would serve our best interest? And once people are able to come clear with some of these things, you don't only build their trust for you. It makes the process even lighter for you. You see, it makes the leadership process or the journey that you have committed yourself to embarking on, it makes it softer for you because you are now going with the people. You are not going alone and they are following you, but you are going with them. They are informed about the processes, they are informed about whatever thing you are doing for them, and so it makes it easier for you because these are the same people that if you are not doing it well, they'll be talking. So once you are having such sessions with them, being coming clear with them that people, I wanted to do ABC for you, I'm unable to do those because of ABC reasons, so let us think about an alternative means of doing that. And you realize that gradually you get there. I was reading a story of Ethiopia and how they built about $2 billion dam or something. And to our surprise, it was because the people, the leaders communicated to the people, this is what I want us to do. They bought into the idea. They self-funded themselves to do that. So that tells us that when we as leaders engage our people, we go in with them. We are not just doing what we feel like it is right for them, but we actually consult them, do what.
That's a very good point you've raised, great man. And I must say, we need to work on ourselves. We need to work on ourselves. Now, I'll give you some instances. The first thing is we have to build transparency. How many of us are really transparent with our staffs? How many of us are really transparent with people? So you observe, a person is given a responsibility. He's looking for a way to steal money, looking for a way to embezzle money. He's looking for ways to do things to favor himself. No, that is not your focus. Your focus should be on how to make life better for people. How do you make life better for people? By being clean, by being clear, by being honest, by being truthful. And one way I've been able to, or one way to build trust is the first thing is, be sincere, be truthful, be able to ask people what they think, make them feel like make them feel like their ideas are valued in that place they are. You ask them for their opinions. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And the person comes in and says, oh, this is what I think. I feel I can do this. I feel I can work on this. I feel I can work on that. These are some of the things that we also need to consider. But in a situation where yes, you value their opinions,
But at some point in time, you begin to feel that your own opinion is the one that is the best opinion. When people take their time to spend over 1 hour trying to share some of their opinions with you, you begin to see some challenging things like that. So, like you said, we need to work on some of the ways to build trust. Like you said, too, is about being honest, about being truthful and sincere. Now, another way which I also looked at is, looking at the fact that we are not focused on now. We are not focused on now. A leader should not be focused on now. Now we can get 1 million from someone now, right? Person just gives you the money and you are told to perform a task, and then you do the task well. That person will recommend you to others. That is one thing that you benefit. The person will recommend you to others. And that is one of the best rewards. There are so many rewards. Rewards can be rewards of influence, rewards of appreciation, and rewards of monetary rewards. In a situation where a person rewards you monetarily, just take this amount of money, that is just for that. The person may not recommend you later because the person you may do the work well or you may not do the work well. But in a situation where a person recommends you with influence, uses his influence to give you more responsibility, that is what you get when you are accountable as a leader. So we need to understand that trust is built when we work on giving our best in any place we are. Now, if you are given a responsibility to be a treasurer and you handled money very well, someone may say, oh, this person can also handle money in this place. And from there, you are promoted to another responsibility. So when you do small work very well, you are given more. But when you do the little work poorly, you will never be given any work anymore. So that is one thing that people look at. So remember, you are working on your integrity. How do you build your integrity? By working on yourself, ensuring that you are who you are. You are who you are. Someone is talking about you. Someone is talking about you here now, saying that you are great, you are this. At the back, what do people say about you? What do people say about you? Take your time to analyze yourself. What do people say about you when you are not there? Do they say good things about you or do they say bad things about you? So look into this, try to be honest, try to be transparent and sincere, just like Quarcoopome said. We need to work on ourselves and be very much clean. Make our records clean and don't do what you like to do in private. Don't do it. Those things that you do in private and you know it's not good, don't do it. Try to make yourself as clean as possible. Yes, some persons will say, you only get this opportunity once, so take charge of it. The truth is, you take charge of it, but it has tainted your image. It has tainted your image. So it has tainted your image, and people are watching. So understand that people are watching, and you need to give your best in any way possible. Now, there's this question. This question, this question is one that always challenges people because some persons they've never handled money before, so much money before, and then they are given a chance to handle an organization's money. They are not accountable. The money just disappears and just starts going in bits. I'll give an instance. In our organization I'm currently in, um one person was given the president. He came in just 3 months to election, but people love the boy because he's very charismatic, loving and all that. They gave him the position, then he became the president. And then after about a year, and they discovered that all their money was gone. So in such a situation, what do you think? You see, about 400,000 naira, guy took everything and nobody heard about him till today. The money is gone. So how do we really build financial accountability? How can a leader be financially accountable? I would love to hear what you think about that.
So I think that it's a regrettable scene to note that sometimes when leaders are entrusted with so much, they end up not living up to expectation. You we've heard about people say absolute power corrupts, right? Power corrupts, but absolute power corrupts absolutely. You see, it is because people are not putting in the right system. Because we are not putting in the right systems, it gives an opportunity for someone who is maybe the chairman or the president of an organization to have his or her way with some of these things. But if we have put in appropriate systems, right, now we realize that this person would not have had his or her way with those things. If the person is coming clear, being transparent with these people, or we have periodic times where the president or whoever is in charge is supposed to give accounts, like a public assembly sort of thing or general assembly thing, then the people would not have realized after a year, but perhaps they may have realized in the first 3 to 6 months that this is what is going on. It is alarming. We need to correct that. So we need to essentially, put systems in place that will ensure that I remember our former president who is late now, the flight lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings. He ever mentioned that if we need to put systems in place so that even if it was a dark that came to rule us as a people, we would know that everything will be in order. We need to strengthen our existing systems. That is, even if there are, we need to ensure that they have that strength, that they can command or put these leaders into account. It is very simple. We as leaders will need to keep clear accounts. If you know that I'm supposed to, I've been given $5,000 to handle, or maybe 5 million naira, and that is what I'm supposed to use for a particular project. Make sure that whatever thing you are doing, you are making notes of them, and you are not just purchasing because you need to purchase. I have been in a situation where in an organization I served as maybe as a PRO, right? The president wanted to have his way with some things. We wanted to do a brooch, and the president told us that in Ghana we cannot produce brooch, and so he needed to get it from an Asian country. I was just wondering, what kind of brooch do we want to produce that in Ghana we cannot produce, when clearly on our campus we know that like other departments are producing that, other halls and things are producing that, and we can do that. Also, we can just ask them, oh, where did you get it from? They got it from maybe Kumasi or whichever part of Ghana they got it from, and do that. But you decide that we should go. You claim that there's no place in Ghana that could do that, and so you bring us. He forges up something like an invoice to bring to us, claiming that the person is around either Hong Kong or something, like an Asian country, some place in Asia. And we were really not in support of it, particularly when I have a colleague in another department that they've produced it, and he told me that they even spent lesser amounts. So why do you come to me and tell me that let us spend more amounts for something that is outside, and we'll now be paying freight costs and all those things? And I'm like, no, we cannot do that. Yes, I may not hold so much power, but I cannot be part of the group of people who will do something like this, because in the end, it just masks your integrity, like it masks your persona. How can you be doing something like this? How can you put up something as some forgery, and then you expect every other person to roll line? I organized my people, the other executive, and we resisted it. He claimed that he had already made some deposits. We didn't let it stay. We ensured that he had to refund what he had to refund. You see, so we need to get to a part where we are putting in such systems. And if we put in such systems, and we have the executives all in sync with such systems, where even non-executives, serve as maybe committee heads and things, and they are able to hold the executives accountable when necessary. We will not get to a point where, like in my case, if we have not stood up for ourselves, that we are not going to agree to this thing you are saying, we need you to refund the monies you've already paid to these people and let us know that, listen, we are not interested in that. It does not even do us any good, because if we are going to get maybe 12 Ghana cedis from it, and we go and do it outside and we are not getting 2 cedis from it, there's no wisdom in that. And so it is not even a prudent way of making finances for people. And so we said, no, we are not going to do that. So I believe that some of the things we just need to do is to keep accurate records. We need to, yes, you have not handled such money before, but the people have trusted you to be there. So you need to also ensure that you don't let go of that trust they've given you. If because you have not handled such monies, you decide that I'm going to take advantage of that, that is the end. We hear of scandals here and there, and it's because people could not just uphold their integrity. They could not just say that, listen, I am not I'm not, people are not watching me, or people are not here currently. People do not know the actual cost of A, B, and C. But I don't need to add on to those costs to, bloat the budget or whatever, so that I can gain something from it. But if you serve diligently, trust me, it will definitely pay. It may not pay immediately, but 2 years, 3 years down the line, you realize that it was worth it. So I think that my advice to any leader elsewhere is that you owe it to yourself for your own good, not even for the people, for your own good. Make sure that you are not doing financial anything that will cause financial loss to the people that have entrusted power to you. Make sure you're not doing anything that is not financially, don't misappropriate the monies, don't embezzle funds that you are supposed to work in the favor of your people. Do it wisely, do it with more prudence. Make sure that whatever thing you are expected to do, be clear with them. It all comes with transparency. We need to be transparent with our people. If we do that, I believe that we will be good. Trust me, we will be good, and we will not need to find ourselves in certain awkward situations like you were mentioning, and like I've even shared with us. Yeah.
Actually, once more, thank you so much, Henry. And I must say, you said a very great. You said something very great. And one thing that we as organizations need to do is any money that comes into the account, any money whatsoever that you take in should be recorded. So that should be recorded, and ensure you give reports when necessary, and let things go smoothly. Anything that comes in, also let people know, let them know about it. Even if no matter what, I remember back then, I will still give another instance. Um, I remember money was supposed to be paid to me as the committee chairman. The president now took the money. And I heard from someone that the president took the money. I was like, oh, the president took the money. I met the president, send me the money, please. He said, I am not with any money until the person that told me that I had to come into the situation before he agreed that, yes, I took the money. So these are some of the things that happens. So we need to work on that. So in a situation, let's say a situation where a leader defrauds the association now, the leader defrauds the association. So in such a scenario, which I told you before, the person has already defrauded the association. What can be done? What do you think? What do you think the association can do in that regard? Is it that the association will just have to move on, or the association will have to do, have to make sure that there are stringent cautions or certain things that the association can do to make sure that does not repeat itself? And what can the association do to that person, because the person is still out there without returning the money?
I think that it goes back to the conversation I was speaking about systems, that we need to strengthen our systems. The systems must, be essentially louder than any personality. If we have systems that are very strong, systems that are very louder than the personalities, whoever it comes to occupy such positions, we realize that there would be accountability. If we have, for example, I know that on various campuses we have student representative councils, the SRC, and we have GAs, General Assemblies. So in Ghana, that's a common thing, like General Assembly, where other leaders on campus and representatives come to, try to, like a parliament setting or sitting. So they hold the leaders accountable. If we have some of these systems in place and they are empowered to do what they are expected to do, you realize that the president that is occupying that position as maybe an organizational president or departmental president, this person who has embezzled knows that he's not going scot-free. There's no way he's going to find himself go scot-free, because the auditing team, the internal audit team, are going to conduct a forensic audit of their resources and know that, hey, you spent this amount on ABC, or you said that you were going to purchase ABC, you took the money for it, you didn't even bring the project at all, you didn't even bring anything. You said you were going to buy 5 cartons of something, you didn't bring it, but yeah, here we are, you have taken such monies from the account. Because there will be such systems, such, whether being it's the audits team or committee, the financial committee, the general assembly system, or those things, it makes, or it coerces these people to fall in line and fall in place. If you know that, listen, whatever I do, people will get to know. You cannot forge and then GA or the General Assembly will just let it slide, or the management of the institution, wherever you find yourself, are going to make it slide. No. Once you know that investigations are going to be conducted into some of these things, even every peswa or every naira you spend, you know that I am going to be accountable. You must be accountable, because if you don't become accountable, or you don't ensure that, listen, I am accountable, and you try defrauding, you know that it is not just going to be in the organizational structure. Because I remember it got to a time, there was a certain production where on campus, those days when I was on campus, we're doing printing some books for our department and things, and then one then the one who is in charge wanted us to do it with a particular firm or printing firm, and we decided that no, this printing firm is not giving us good a good deal, so we want to use another one. And he says that no, we should still go ahead with that, and we say no, you don't, as a leader, as our head, you need to ensure that we need to ensure that we weigh the things. If we are going to get the same thing of the same quality for 2 naira, why do I go in for the same thing at 10 naira? It doesn't make any sense. We need to ensure that we do what is prudent. And so once we have some of these systems in place, trust me, like I mentioned earlier about the late president, Jerry John Rawlings, if we strengthen our systems, realize that even if it's the most crook person we have there as a president, or as a financial secretary, or as a treasurer, or whoever, because the systems are stronger than their personalities, the system will coerce them to go in line. I've seen in some places where sometimes these people in occupying certain areas, they want to find ways and means to defraud their association, their organization, their departments, but because of the systems that are in place, they try and they are fished out. And so they even get to a point where they may be stripped of their position just because they attempted to do some of these things. And I think that if we get to that point and we get people facing certain consequences, right, or
Punishment.
certain
Yeah.
sanctions for that, it would deter others. But if in your organization there has never been a case where someone spends, let's say, 1,000 naira on nothing, and the person was held accountable or made to refund that money, then it means that that thing would continue to whoever knows when. But once we put in such systems that you know that if I embezzle 500 naira from my association, from my organization, I'm going to pay. I'm going to be made to refund it, whether I like it or yes. We're going to use, even if we have to use law enforcement agencies to ensure that I refund it, I'm going to be made to refund it. I'll be very cautious when I'm doing some of those things because I know that it will not just come with, it will not just come with me repaying, but they would have a dent on my credibility, my personality. And so I would be cautious when I'm doing some of these things. So I think that we should just all we need to do, if we don't have such systems, let us create such systems. If we have the systems already, let us empower these systems to be stronger than any personality, so that it doesn't matter if I am the president, I should be able to be accountable to my people. If I say I am the president, the systems in place should make me to be able to be accountable to my people, not the other way around. The systems rather favoring me to defraud my people. That shouldn't be the case.
That's a very valid point you raised, I must say. So we need to create good systems. And you gave an instance with the SROC. That's a very valid point, I must say. Even in Nigeria here, university system, we also have the parliament too, who ensures that everything is properly monitored, and if there is any misappropriation of funds, they find possible ways to get those funds back. So a leader is not supposed to do things with all the power he has. He has to also seek consultation before making any relevant decision. Once more, thank you so much, Henry, for this great point. So we have one last question here, which is this last question is going to be a bit is going to be a very helpful question to the various organizations that are watching us today. So, do you believe in creating a business account with over 3 signatories? So in terms of organizations that have 3 signatories, maybe for example, after they will now have to go again after 4 years, they go in and restructure, they change the signatories. After 4 years, they still go again and change the signatories. Do you believe in that? Do you think it's a very good idea? Or what do you think?
Absolutely. I think it's like the greatest thing you can do to any organization, the greatest good you can do to any organization. We should have such systems in place. Yes, I have worked in organizations where I was even the chairman of the board and things, and I I cannot, even if I want to, I cannot just go and withdraw monies because I want to withdraw or I want us to do something. I need to ensure that the executives are on the same page, the financial secretary is also in line, and one other person who can be our patron or even our vice chairperson. Once we get 3 people to sign that, then the bank can give us the money. But if we have not gotten these 3 people, attempts will try to get that money, and that is creating such situations that you have 3 signatories doing is that we are creating a system for people to be accountable. We are not creating a system that empowers only one person who is the treasurer or the secretary to, as and when he or she likes, go into the bank or any of the accounts and then just say that I'm withdrawing money with or without the knowledge of the others. Once we have 3 signatories, it helps us. It's a good thing. And I feel like that is one key thing that we need to do. It not only fosters, transparency, but then also, gives us confidence with our stakeholders. The stakeholders know that, hey, these people are not just doing what they feel like doing. They are in line with us. And that leads me to say that, the whole point about transparency is about breeding, transparency breeds trust. And this trust that we get from transparency in turn will also build what we call or breed growth. So transparency indirectly leads to growth. If we are transparent and we know that, listen, I'm going to spend this or I want to do this, but I need not only to be the only one to withdraw the money. I need other 2 signatories to be part of me so that we can withdraw the money. We are growing to build trust amongst ourselves as executives or the executive body, and even amongst the organization. Now we are because we are laying the foundation of trust, we end up growing. We end up pushing the organization forward because these monies will ensure that, okay, people are not able, departments, the organization we are serving in, and because of that, it becomes easier for us to make progress. And so essentially, we need to know that transparency breeds trust, and then trust also breeds growth.
Once more, I must appreciate you, a very great man, Henry Ajiri, Ni Quarcoopome. Thank you so much for making out time to be in today's program. For me, I learned a lot. As a leader, I need to work on myself, and also the young leaders who are also watching this live stream also do well to put these things you've learned into practice. One core thing is you learn every day, but when you practice what you've learned, you will achieve success. So you need to work on yourself, accept that you need to be accountable. Those persons who put you there, they know why they chose you. They chose you because they believe in you and they see that you can actually handle that money. You can actually do things that they cannot do. They put you there to do things that they cannot do. So try to ensure that you put in your best in that organization. And don't look at now. Don't do it for now. Do it for tomorrow. Because all these stages are building you for something greater. And surely, when you put these things into practice, you see a lot of great things coming along the way. Once more, thank you so much, Henry, Ni Ajiri, Quarcoopome. I would love you to, in 1 minute, you can just give an advice to the young persons watching, and you can wrap up the call. Thank you
Okay,
so much.
so
So in 1 minute.
yes, please, thank you. So for anyone who is watching us and is asking you or yourself, just in a brief summary, what can I do to be accountable? Now, one, sets clear objectives or clear expectations. I want to be CD. 2, be open. Let the people be able to tell you that, listen, the system you've put in place that you intended for good, it is not really helping us. Sorry, I've just been blocked out. So the system you put in place to ensure that we succeed is not really helping us. Now, document anything that the progress, right? Documents the things you are doing, and then also lead by example. Don't be the leader who says that I'm going to let us go here and then you are going north. You say let us go south and you are going north. No, no. Do as you are expecting your people to do. Lead by example. And then the last thing I would say is that let us create systems. Let us empower our systems so that everything would fall in place. Let us have systems that would ensure that people would be accountable because the systems are working, not just systems that exist for existing sake. Yeah, thank you.
Once more, thank you so much, Henry, and do have a very great evening and stay blessed. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, everyone, for being with us in this great program. See you again next Sunday by 3 p.m. West African time, and let's make this possible again. Once more, thank you so much, Henry, and thank you, everyone, for being with us.